Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.
It's Thursday, June 23rd. This is The Gateway. I'm Wayne Pratt. U.S. Senate hopeful Eric Greitens has ignited a firestorm with a web ad encouraging people to hunt Republicans who are insufficiently conservative.
And now we have a candidate for U.S. Senate that put out this ad that seems to be a call to arms against members of his own party.
Coming up, St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum reports on how the reaction to the ad could give Greitens needed attention in the Republican primary. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones hopes to make changes to the city's development incentive programs in the last 9 months of the current Board of Aldermen session. St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Lippman reports on the proposed reforms.
Jones says the city's development agency was already looking to make changes before 3 aldermen were indicted on corruption charges related to incentives. She wants a system where projects are approved based on merit rather than the whims of an alderman, and the inclusion of more affordable housing. She also wants more community benefits agreements. Jones says she knows it's unlikely that any legislation can pass before the aldermen go on summer break in July.
That gives us the summer to have many conversations with stakeholders, with developers, with community, with our business owners to see what a good process would look like going forward.
Jones was the guest on St. Louis on the Air. I'm Rachel Lippman, St. Louis Public Radio.
Lawyers representing 3 men accused in the deadly 2018 duckboat sinking on Table Rock Lake say Missouri's Attorney General has no authority to pursue a criminal case. Eric Schmidt filed charges shortly after a judge dismissed a case from the Stone County prosecutor. Defense lawyers say the Attorney General cannot take such action unless asked by the local prosecutor. A storm caused the boat to sink on the lake nearly 4 years ago, killing 17. Some St. Louis area teachers have been going to class this week, but without any students. St. Louis Public Radio's Kate Grumke reports on an effort to get the word out about in-demand jobs.
A group of teachers and school counselors are watching workers climb poles during a training exercise at an Ameren facility in St. Louis County. This is one stop of many this week as the educators learn about local career options. Andrea Johnson is a counselor at Ladue Middle School and says she's planning to change how she works with kids on their future plans.
Now I'm able to talk with firsthand knowledge about what it takes and what the expectations are in order to get into a skilled trade job like this.
The program is put on by the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and the Regional Business Council. I'm Kate Grumke, St. Louis Public Radio.
A St. Louis area substance abuse center for Black people is bringing therapy by bus to North St. Louis residents who need treatment for drug and alcohol abuse. Basic Inc. says counselors, nurses, and doctors will come to the neighborhoods to provide on-demand care. Basic Inc. CEO Oval Miller says he wants to bring high-quality substance abuse treatment to more Black neighborhoods in the city.
We can't just believe that just because you're Black and poor, you don't deserve the best treatment.
The bus will frequent the Greaterville, Riverview, and Wells Goodfellow neighborhoods 5 times a week. The fish species known as Asian carp has a new name. As Harvest Public Media's Dana Cronin reports, it's an effort to get more people to eat the invasive species.
Kopi is the new name of the fish that since the 1990s has invaded Midwestern waterways and threatened native fish species. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources is hoping the new name, along with a marketing campaign, will take more fish out of the water and onto our dinner plates. Joe Parkos is a researcher with the Illinois Natural History Survey. He says he supports the rebrand, but that it's just a start.
We need to remove as many of these fish as possible. So you can consider this one tool in the toolbox.
As for what he'll call the species going forward, Parkos says he'll stick with its scientific name,
the Hypothamixes molatrix,
which, as he says, doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. I'm Dana Cronin, Harvest Public Media.
A web ad from U.S. Senate candidate Eric Greitens is generating a firestorm. It encourages people to hunt Republicans who are not conservative enough. The ad is provoking widespread condemnation, but also the attention the former governor needs to stand out in a crowded primary. St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum reports.
You could argue that Eric Greitens' new web ad succeeded beyond all expectations. Earlier this week, Greitens' U.S. Senate campaign released an ad featuring the former governor storming a house with a gun, alongside people dressed as armed military members. He says he's hunting rhinos, an acronym meaning Republicans in name only. In case you missed it, here's the tail end of that ad.
Join the MAGA crew. Get a rhino-hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Greitens' message spurred on a national frenzy. Facebook removed the web ad, Twitter slapped a warning on it, and both parties condemned Greitens for promoting violence over political disagreements. On Tuesday, while speaking with Kansas City area talk show host Pete Mundo, Greitens saw the ad a different way, as an unquestionable triumph.
As we're talking now, less than 24 hours since we released it, we now know that it's had at least 3.5 million views.
Greitens is trying to tap into a populist and nationalist edge in Missouri that former President Donald Trump helped cultivate. And the ad itself is part of broader messaging from Greitens that he's willing to go against his own party, most notably promising not to vote for Mitch McConnell as GOP leader. And Austin Peterson, a Jefferson City talk show host who is neutral in the Senate race, says that Greitens is masterful at getting attention through traditional and social media channels. Peterson knows from experience. He unsuccessfully ran for the U.S. Senate as a Republican in 2018.
He's winning the information war. He knows what he's doing, and he's getting out there, controversy or not. If you remember, I was the guy who gave away an AR-15 in my race. That was the best thing that ever happened. Haters be damned.
But it should be noted that Greitens is not just encountering controversy over viral web videos. He's made scores of enemies among both parties before and after he served as governor, including GOP U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, who endorsed Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler in the Senate race. He resigned in 2018 amid scandals around an extramarital affair and campaign finance controversies, and Greitens' ex-wife recently said under oath that he was abusive to her and their son, allegations he denies. Greitens' GOP rivals, like Congressman Billy Long, found the web ad to be distasteful.
If you want to beat rhinos, you beat them at the ballot box. To say that you're going to go hunting rhinos is beyond the pale, in my opinion. But like I said, this is politics 2022 style, and all the earned media in the world is great, whether they're saying good things or bad things about you, I suppose.
U.S. Senator Roy Blunt has suggested that people should stop obsessing over the video because it's giving Greitens the attention he needs to win a 21-person Republican primary. Democrat Lucas Kunz disagrees with that strategy.
You do not just ignore that threat. That's how the threat grows. It's how it gets stronger. And everything else. You eliminate the threat. And what we're trying to do right now is we are going after Eric Greitens and reminding everyone. And if you don't talk about it, if you don't talk about how bad it is, then you literally give him a free pass. It's like, oh, okay, well, let me put out the next one. Let me do another one.
University of Missouri St. Louis political science professor Anita Mannion says ignoring Greitens' web ad would paper over dark realities about the state of American politics. That's especially the case with hearings over the January 6th insurrection happening now, as well as the fact that there's been increased threats against Democratic and Republican political figures.
We know a man was recently arrested with intentions to hurt Brett Kavanaugh. We're in the shadow of these horrific mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde. And now we have a candidate for U.S. Senate that put out this ad that seems to be a call to arms against members of his own party.
Greitens' campaign strongly disputes the idea that the web ad condones violence, saying in a statement, quote, "If anyone doesn't get the metaphor, they are either lying or dumb." While he has mixed feelings about Greitens' ad being amplified, Alan Harris Dalt, a Democratic voter who lives in Maryland Heights, says pretending that it doesn't exist is not helpful.
In 2016, because so many people in national media outlets kept saying, wow, this Trump guy is really ludicrous and look at this crazy stuff. And the Clinton campaign pushing that because they thought, oh, well, there's no way we can lose to him. That's part, I think that is part of what gave us Trump.
Missouri Republicans will make the final call on whether they want Greitens as their standard bearer on August 2nd. I'm Jason Rosenbaum, St. Louis Public Radio.
Our Fred Ehrlich helped edit that report. The Gateway is a production of St. Louis Public Radio, a listener-supported service of the University of Missouri-St. Louis. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. Have a great day.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.